Good afternoon. I hope you are finding orientation informative so far. My name is Wayne, and I am the General Manager of the Artibel Canned Goods Company. In this session we are going to discuss the grievance policy as it relates to the supervisory role. It is important to know all of the options we have available so you can explain them properly to your staff should the need arise. We're going to start with a definition for what a grievance is. I will also provide some examples of grievances employees may bring to you as a supervisor. Next, I'll go through our company's open door policy and what it means for you in this supervisory role. Victoria, who is a human resource specialist, will join us to explain our mediation process, which is available should a grievance escalate and should employees choose to use that option. This will be important to know, as there are 4 different types of mediation available to your employees. It is imperative to know what these types of mediations are so you can point your employees in the right direction. Finally, Victoria will discuss our employee hotline. Sometimes employees do not feel comfortable expressing a grievance to a supervisor, and that's alright. We have the employee hotline for that purpose. By the end of this training you should understand the company's open door policy, the mediation options available to you and your employees, and what our employee hotline is and how it is used. Now that you have an idea of what we're going to cover, let's get started. So what is a grievance anyway? A grievance is any concern, problem or complaint an employee raises with each other or their supervisor. Grievances range from anything from who cleans the fridge to favoritism. Other serious grievances arise regarding pay discrepancies and changes to workplace practices. Consider the following example.
Hi Jessica, how are you?
Oh, hey Sam. I was just looking at your workspace. It's a mess. Again.
Oh? Is there a reason you feel the need to police my desk? It doesn't seem to interfere with your workspace.
Well, actually it does. My desk and your desk share a wall. When you pile things on top of the partition, your work can fall into my workspace. It's happened twice this month.
Oh, you're just exaggerating. I don't see what the big deal is. Just pick it up and throw it back over the wall.
I'm not responsible for your work, Sam. The next time I find your things in my workstation, I'm just going to throw them away.
If you do that, I'm going to your supervisor and telling them you're trying to get me fired by taking my work.
Well, that escalated quickly. The way our company tries to reduce these types of grievances is to ensure all employees understand supervisors have an open door policy. We want our employees to feel like they can give feedback, positive or negative, so you need to be approachable. An employee who walks into a supervisor's office and is greeted by "What?" has a very different experience than the employee who hears "Hey there. How can I help you?" Remember that an open door policy only works if you make your employees feel comfortable and safe. Show some emotion, be honest with them, and most importantly be engaged. The only way an open door policy works is if you initiate contact and make yourself available for your employees. At this time I'll let Victoria take the floor to tell you about mediation and our hotline.
Thanks, Wayne. I hope everyone's doing well today. Wayne did a great job discussing our open door policy, which is imperative in reducing conflict from moving forward. Sometimes, however, conflict is going to escalate and employees need a more intermediate level of conflict resolution. We offer 4 types of mediation for these types of situations. So what is mediation exactly? In simple terms, mediation is an intervention. Disputants are able to negotiate more effectively with a third party present and come to an agreement, usually on their own. Some supervisors choose to stick to one of the 4 mediation methods, while others like to interchange them. It all depends on what's comfortable for you and what's appropriate for the situation. The first type of mediation available is facilitative mediation, which is most common. This method involves a third-party mediator who establishes rules and procedures and asks probing questions. The mediator's goal is to lead the conversation towards an agreement. Remember that these mediators do not get involved in the decision-making process, nor do they communicate their opinion. They are only present to facilitate the session, so if facilitative mediation is what most people think about, how are other types of mediations different? The difference between mediation methods is intent. Inclusive mediation focuses on identifying key values and topics that need to be addressed. From there, the mediators work to clarify topics that need to be resolved and reiterate what they hear during the session. All parties understand the desired outcome. Mediators using this method try to help disputants brainstorm and evaluate options. Sometimes it is most effective to recognize and empower disputants through the problem-solving process. This method is called transformative mediation. Mediators using this approach may interrupt the conversation at times to recognize both sides of the dispute. During this method, the mediator's purpose is to be a positive resource whose goal is to help nurture the interaction. Mediators can also meet individually with disputants, which is called analytical mediation. After meeting one-on-one with the mediator, both disputants will come together to find a resolution. The mediator's purpose is to consider both parties' issues and desires and suggest potential outcomes. This method is usually used when employees decide to use our hotline. Let's check in with Sam and see how he's doing after his conflict with Jessica.
Hey, Sam. You look upset. What's wrong?
I had a heated discussion with Jessica about my workstation today. It's bothering me, but I don't want to go to my supervisor about it.
You could always use the hotline we have.
I don't remember much about using that. Do you remember what it is?
You can call the hotline to talk to a third party about your conflict. Since you seem uncomfortable talking about it, you have the option to remain anonymous.
That sounds like a good idea. I wonder how they process that.
Before you start talking about the conflict, maybe you can ask the representative on the phone what happens after your call.
Scott gave Sam some great information. When an employee calls the hotline, they can speak to a third party and either remain anonymous or give full details. The third party takes notes of the information and gives the report to the Human Resource Director. The HR Director will investigate by interviewing the parties involved or getting general facts by asking different areas affected by the conflict. After the HR Director investigates, they take their findings to the representative for review. After the representative considers all of the information from the investigation and original call, they will suggest resolutions to the employee who originated the call. The representative may also use the analytical mediation method with both parties over the phone and suggest solutions. I know this is a lot of information, but you can always come to Human Resources with questions. Wayne, would you like to conclude today's session?
Thanks, Victoria. I appreciate you coming today. You sure did give us a lot of information. It's overwhelming, but in time you will get the hang of it. Although we have all of these steps and procedures in place, conflicts rarely go past mediation. However, we like to err on the side of caution, and want resources available to our employees in order to resolve internal conflict. We at Artobel Canned Goods Company understand that conflicts will arise in the workplace no matter how comfortable the environment, and trust that the process and resources we have made available will result in a positive conflict resolution experience. Thank you all for coming, and enjoy the rest of your orientation.